story of Nellie Bly, the girl who changed the world. It all started with an insult. In 1885, a young woman in Pittsburgh named Elizabeth Cochran read a column in the Pittsburgh Dispatch titled, "What Girls Are Good For." The author argued that women were only fit for domestic chores and that ambitious working girls were a monstrosity. Furious, Elizabeth penned a fiery, anonymous rebuttal so eloquent that the editor, George Madden, was captivated. He placed a newspaper ad asking the author to come forward. When a bright-eyed, determined 20-year-old Elizabeth walked into his office, Madden was surprised but impressed. He offered her a job. And so, Elizabeth Jane Cochran, taking the pen name Nellie Bly from a popular song, became a journalist. But she quickly grew restless. She was assigned to the women's pages, covering fashion and society, when she longed to write about the pressing social issues of the day. Tired of these constraints, Nellie boldly traveled to New York City in 1887, a place where a young woman alone was often turned away. After months of struggle, she managed to secure a meeting with the legendary newspaper baron Joseph Pulitzer at the New York World. She pitched a daring idea to feign insanity and get herself committed to the women's lunatic asylum on Blackwell's Island. Her goal was to report on the conditions from the inside. The editors, skeptical but intrigued, agreed. Nellie checked into a boarding house for women and began her act. She stopped sleeping, stared vacantly, and accused the other boarders of being insane. Her performance was so convincing that she was quickly examined by doctors, declared undoubtedly insane, and shipped off to the asylum. For 10 days, she endured the nightmare she had set out to expose. She experienced the brutal cold, the rotten food crawling with insects, the filthy water, and the cruel, abusive staff. She witnessed terrified. Sane women, many of them poor immigrants who didn't speak English, being beaten and neglected simply because there was no one to advocate for them. When the world secured her release, Nellie Bly wrote a searing newspaper article, 10 Days in a Madhouse. It was a sensation. The public was horrified. The resulting uproar forced a grand jury investigation, which led to a significant increase in the asylum's budget and sweeping reforms. At just 23, Nellie Bly had proven the power of journalism to enact real change. But Nellie wasn't done making history. Inspired by Jules Verne's novel Around the World in 80 Days, she walked into her editor's office with a new, audacious idea. "I want to go around the world," she declared. On November 14, 1889, with a single small travel bag, she boarded the ocean liner Augusta Victoria and set off. The whole world watched. Newspapers ran contests, and people bet on whether she could beat the fictional Phileas Fogg's record. She traveled by ship, train, rickshaw, and even a donkey, sending back thrilling dispatches from England, France, where she met Jules Verne himself, Ceylon, Singapore, and Japan. She wasn't just racing. She was living a new kind of life for a woman, independent, adventurous, and utterly fearless. On January 25, 1890, just 72 days, 6 hours, and 11 minutes after she left, Nellie Bly arrived back in New York to a hero's welcome. She was a global celebrity. Nellie's life continued to be a series of adventures. She retired from journalism after marrying millionaire industrialist Robert Seaman. When he died, she took over his ironclad manufacturing company, becoming a pioneering female industrialist who patented inventions and implemented unheard-of benefits for her workers. But the call of the story was too strong. She returned to journalism during World War I, becoming one of the first female war correspondents. She continued to write in support of women's suffrage and social reform until her death in 1922. Nellie Bly's story is not just a list of accomplishments. It's the story of a woman who refused to be told what she could not do. She used her courage, her wit, and her pen to shine a light into the darkest corners of society, and in doing so, changed the world forever.